your daily financial news. First and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for the heartwarming thoughts, messages, comments, all of that yesterday. They were both greatly appreciated by both Olivia and I. Special shout out to the Butler family who was nice enough to send some flowers, which Olivia and I appreciated. Again, thank you very much. Uh, Greatly appreciated, everyone. As we look at the daily financial news, I need to remind you it is Friday. It is almost the end of February. If you are interested in real estate investing, have you done anything to get ready? If you need to learn your market, do the work. Link below to the course, which I highly recommend. Over 1,000 people taking it now, part of the Facebook group and the like. So, all good stuff. But when we look at the market, we really need to realize that the market dynamics, the story of the market that is telling us it is changing, and it is changing in front of us. We have been in this crisis for over a year now. I've been telling you we are getting to the end of it, very quickly. I think we will have a supply glut of vaccines shortly once J&J is approved. It then will become a distribution and a sticking arms problem. And that means we are about to have a global explosion of activity. That activity is going to be coming at a time where a $1.9 trillion stimulus plan is coming. It is going to come back on top of a $900 billion one that was in January. So we are going to be flush. A lot of folks will be having excess savings, as we will see in a moment. So get ready for higher yields. These higher yields will be a surprise because the Fed is either wrong or lying to us or both. And what we need to realize is that is going to have a change. It'll have an immediate change on the stock market. It'll have immediate change on risk versus value. Thankfully, real estate is much slower to react. However, as we've talked with Matt, the mortgage guy, a couple of times, higher rates will mean less yes answers. So again, this will impact real estate. It will probably impact buyers or owner occupants more than investors because you and I look for cash flow. We will just adjust our prices to make sure they still cash flow. But there will be some owner occupants. So the demand picture will shrink some. I do not expect it to be large at this point, but this is just how markets change. It's uncomfortable. It comes out of nowhere. The market yesterday is just a sample of what I think is to come. We are probably going to have more markets like yesterday in the next 60 to 90 days than you or I would like. But I think we just need to realize that we are going from I don't know what else to call it, a lockdown, a fear, a consolidate, save, conserve mentality to one of, let's go. And I say that as somebody who watches the consumer. Right? The consumer has been acting different the last 12 months, as some of the numbers will show shortly. I think they are going to come back with a vengeance. And that's going to, again, put the inflation tiger out there. So it's going to be interesting. So let's get into what I've seen today. First and foremost, the risk on trade is clearly coming off, meaning think Tesla, think all these high growth stocks with very little profit. I think you're going to see a significant collapse of price to earnings ratios, which will mean falling stock values. Bond yield rising. That jumped to 1.6 yesterday in the 10-year was a shock. I think it's at 1.47 today. But again, I think I've been saying for much of this time that the 10-year was going to go over 1.5. And it did yesterday. The next stop will be 2, and I think it gets there this year. I think what we're going to see is FOMO, fear of missing out, kind of turned on its head. We have seen a lot of cult stocks, whether it be Bitcoin or Tesla, for example, and there are others, GameStop being another, where a lot of the value, the increase, was done by fear of missing out, right? You look back at history, which was a day, a week, a month old, and you just jump in. And I think that's going to turn on its head, and people are going to start losing money. And you're going to start to see weak hands, or what people call paper hands today, collapse, crush, sell. And again, I say this as someone who went through this very similar experience in 2002 or 3. It's going to be painful. Many of you, or many of your friends, or many people out there are going to lose money for the first time, and it's going to be painful. But this is what happens. What has worked the last year won't work the next year, is my opinion. That's why I look at real estate, because you can understand value. You can create value. The market is inefficient and it is slower to move and react. That's why real estate investing has been my thing. That's why I do it all the time. That's why I choose not to invest in stocks. And as many of you like to remind me, I missed the March run up. Totally okay with that. I will stay in the real estate game. Again, it is very clear that the $1.9 trillion is coming. I think you're going to see some approvals of that. But that, I think that is going to land right as we have a vaccine glut. And it is just going to be, oh man, I don't know what else to say, just gasoline to a fire. I think it is probably well-intentioned, but horribly timed is what I will say there. And I still believe that this isn't going to be the last package. I believe it will very quickly turn to a infrastructure package, which will be bigger. And again, probably not timed well. So get ready. Of note, I saw a note out of Europe, specifically the Bank of England. Bank of England has their version of the Fed, or Treasury probably. Treasury is probably a better example. Their most hawkish, right? There's dovish and hawkish. Hawkish president said, "Beware, the inflationary tiger is out." That'll shake you, right? You get your version of Jerome Powell saying, "Oh shoot, inflation is out." That's going to be hard to tame or capture or bring back. Again, I don't expect Jerome Powell or any of his minions to say that. They are praying they can keep rates low for the year. I think it's going to be hard to do. Some kind of numbers from January that just show what's coming. Personal income up 10%. Why? Because we sent out $600 to lots of people. Personal savings up 20.5%, now totaling almost $4 trillion, 3.93 trillion. Folks, a lot of that's going to get spent this year. Watch out. Retail sales were up 2.4%, but guess what? The Fed is telling us there's no inflation. The only way that I can see that happening is a lot of people are saving. I've told you many times, or suggested many times, that when you can give people money, but if they just tuck it in a bank, it's not currency. It's not moving. There's no velocity. It's not in the economy. So it's coming. At least that's my impression. And it's going to start in April. So it's like right around the corner. The other part of this is people were probably spending on past bills, right? Utility bills or rent, or maybe just putting food on the plate. The Fed is just wrong, in my opinion. And again, I don't know that they're really wrong. I think they're just trying to tell us a story and cross their fingers and hope they get to the end of the year. That's what I think they're doing. Again, remember all the supply disruptions. And we got another one from HP today, or yesterday, I guess. We've heard about supply disruptions with builders, right? Think building materials and lumber. Think cars. How many times have we talked about car manufacturers having to reduce their manufacturing lines because of chips? Now we have PC companies like HP saying we can't meet demand because we don't have enough supply. This is a problem. This will lead to some inflation as people overpay for supply components, and then it will kind of ripple through the system. I think we are seeing in this changing environment tough compares. I think you saw Home Depot talk about it on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Tuesday. I think that is going to be true for Home Depot and Amazon and Lowe's and Netflix. There were a lot of people, think DoorDash, think Airbnb, that have enjoyed a great year. They were kind of positioned right for the crisis. And if we have a supply cut of vaccines and we get a flip in consumer sentiment and we're done being freaking frozen at home, the winners will become losers and they will have horrible yearly comparisons. It's kind of the curse of having an amazing 2020. I think the winners obviously are going to be the things that were the losers in 2020: travel, airlines, any kind of entertainment. It is just going to be interesting. And I expect savings to go down, right? The 3.93 trillion we talked about earlier, it won't be 3.93 trillion at the end of the year. We are going to have, I think the Chinese called it revenge buying. You can go back and look at some of my talks. I think it was from April or May, talking about revenge buying of luxury goods in China, right? They were on severe lockdowns for, I don't know, 60 or 90 days. I forget. They came out and boy, did they spend. I expect us to do the same thing. My hope is we are buying experiences. We are taking pictures and creating memories. But I suspect we will do the same things and buy ridiculously overpriced handbags and shoes and just silly things like that. Then we got Charlie Munger, 97 years old. He is out talking, right? Berkshire Hathaway or Warren Buffett releases his letter tomorrow, his yearly letter. Charlie Munger is out slashing Robinhood and all these other players. One of the quotes he had was, "Crazy to think that owning 100 stocks is better than owning 5 when you do the work." Interesting to hear Charlie Munger talk about do the work. What do I talk about on this channel? What is one of the shirts I've created? Do the work. If you're interested in real estate investing, you want to make the right decisions and go forward, get cheap debt. Yes, it is still cheap, even though it is higher than last week. You need to do the work. I think there's going to be a lot of people moving to real estate investing once they realize the stock market is gambling, much like a lot of people found in the early 2000s, like I found in the early 2000s. So do the work, get ready, understand the numbers, build your network, do the work. And then finally, anybody shocked that DraftKings is that online betting site, just blew out their numbers? We seem to be addicted to the little drip of just energy or whatever that is, dopamine, from placing bets and that excitement, right? Watching a game is so much more exciting when you're betting on it. Well, that's gambling, folks, right? Let's invest. Let's get away from the dopamine hit of social media. Let's do the work. If you're one of my students, do that 10 to 20 minutes of work. If you don't have any money, you can't afford $200, there's a playlist on this channel called 75 Hard Real Estate Challenge. Take a look. I think there's 7 or 8 tasks there. I think there's now a video of a student who was at day 35 or 36 telling you what he's doing. So do the work. Lastly, today's tax day for me. I get to go sit in front of my accountant for 10 to 12 hours, kind of review our year, talk about rentals, talk about our pride of ownership flips, talk about education, just all kinds of stuff. Make sure we are maximizing our ability to take the appropriate tax deductions, and we will see how much money I owe, if anything. Last year we did this, I owed 0. We will see what this year holds. So hope your day is better than mine. It's kind of the only day that's kind of rough to own a lot of property is tax day, but happy to do it. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful Friday. Of course, today is a great day to make some money. And let's make you just a little bit better than yesterday. And again, thank you for all the notes, comments, support. I got through the video and didn't cry. Yay! Yay me! Take care, everyone.